Stephen Galanis. You are the co-founder of Cameo and the CEO?
Co-founder and CEO until somebody fires me.
No one will fire you, my friend, especially not right now. So, before I hit record on Zoom, which is, the closest we're getting to personal connections, right, these days. I was just talking to you about, Cameo in a lot of ways saving me during this pandemic and saving other people. So I kind of sought this interview out because it honestly started out as a gag for me. Like, I had known about Cameo for a while, and I think I mentioned, like, I do celebrity interviews, and sometimes I'll be like, hey, do you mind saying this, like, toward the end? But I kind of don't overly cheese it. It's usually like a quick shout out to my kids. I don't share it with anybody. But in this context, like, knowing about Cameo and knowing how terrible the world, especially back in March when I think I got my first Cameo was, I started it. I got John Davidson from Hollywood Squares, and the reason why was my friends and I, what we thought was going to be maybe 2-3 weeks of Friday night drunken Zoom sessions of just talking about whatever, obviously evolved into we're still doing it right now. But I thought, why not play a Cameo, send it to everybody right before we go into the room of circle gets the square kind of thing.
Yep.
And honestly, what kind of started off as a gag really turned into something quite amazing and just really quick. Turned into me getting the guy who voices Chewbacca, plays Chewbacca now, for my sons after we completed watching the Star Wars trilogy and after they finished homeschooling. I wanted them to have the connection, and having him say congratulations for finishing Star Wars and finishing your school year, and a birthday gift for a friend, Father's Day gift for my dad from Art Shamsky of the Mets, because he met my mom the Miracle '69 season. Yeah, man, this is not really a question. It's just a thank you, because it's really cool. And I'm sure you're hearing a lot of this now, more than ever.
Well, number one, I thank you for sharing all those stories. Never gets old. Just like if somebody has something nice to say about your kids, right? You could never, as a parent, ever get sick of that. And one of the things that we talk about at Cameo is that, every Cameo, we don't call them cameos internally. We actually call them magical moments, right? And we talk about at Cameo, we create magical moments, and our mission is to create the most personalized and authentic fan connections on earth. And every time we do a Cameo, I feel like we're, getting one step closer to manifesting our mission and our vision. And, we love the fact that we can connect people. We always think of our business as that connected friend who can open the red velvet rope and bring you in and hand, walk you in and introduce you to the people that matter most to you in your life. And, recently, the week of June 1st, we actually crossed our millionth magical moment, which was just one of those milestones. You start up a business, and it took us 6 months to sell our first one, and our launch was was a disaster. I can tell that story later. But the fact that, every single person at our company and every talent, I think the reason we all love what we do so much is because we know that on the other end of every single Cameo is a huge smile. We talk about making people smile, laugh, and cry. And we just feel really grateful that in a shelter-in-place world where people still have birthdays and they still are graduating high school or college and they are getting engaged and they're getting married and they have gender reveals and there's Mother's Day and Father's Day and all life's big moments are still happening. But, Cameo has really become one of the best ways to virtually send love to and joy to people that you love. And the fact that on the talent side, in a world where every single athlete, actor, musician, comedian, finds himself out of work, right? All live entertainment is just shut down. We feel very fortunate that we've been one of the lucky few that has a business model that's been really resilient in some tough times. And not only has the business model been resilient, but every time we do a cameo, like we're making people happy, right? And that's pretty powerful and pretty cool. And it's something that fires our team up every day for sure.
And I mean, talk to me a little bit about, when you started this 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
We officially launched in March of 2017.
2017. So like I said, I had known you guys were around. I saw, a lot of it. I knew people who got it, but I really feel, and maybe it's because we're literally forced to be in our homes and not be around people and not have human connection in a lot of ways. But what have you noticed with the pandemic? Like, at what point were celebrities coming to you, talent coming to you, like, I want to be part of this? How much was you guys going after the talent, like, hey, this is an opportunity for you guys, versus, or maybe it's both?
Yeah, on the highest level, there's three ways that talent come on Cameo. About half the talent on the platform we've reached out to. So, there's people that are searching for folks on Cameo that we don't have, and we look at that list and we say, oh man, that'd be great. Or, Tiger King comes out and someone's like, man, Gerald, Carol Baskin would be awesome, right? Or Cheer comes out on Netflix. Man, I'd love to get pumped up by Jerry Harris, right? So we watch things like that, and we have a team that outreaches. 20% of talent are referred by other talents. So, people that, like, over the pandemic, Busy Phillips came on the platform and was raising money for No Kid Hungry, and Mandy Moore saw it and messaged us and was like, this is awesome. I want to be part of this. And that's, and Busy referred her friend Mandy to the platform, and that's the way we grew. And then more recently, we've seen a big uptick in just talent that are just downloading the app and enrolling because they've seen so many other people on it. We have 40,000 athletes, actors, celebrities on the platform, right? So you have to be living under a rock at this point if you don't see it on your Instagram feed somewhere, you don't see someone tweeting about it, or you don't read last night, Jimmy Fallon did a bit about Joe Biden and what they could do to make him cool to Gen Zs. And in the bit, they literally talked about him joining Cameo, right? And it's just like, it's cool because it's just gotten in the zeitgeist so much, right? And we see it in the page views. So, we've just been really grateful because so many of our talent that have reached out to us, they've said, hey, Steven, or hey, to their rep, Cameo has become my primary source of income right now. Like, it's paying for my kids' school, it's paying for my car, it's paying for a house, all that stuff. Because literally these people just had their earnings just disappear overnight. Right. And, in a world where there's so many jobs lost and so many people are hurting, the fact that, we could take a very vulnerable segment of the community, everybody that works in live entertainment, and find a way to keep them afloat during some tough times while bringing joy to people, right? I think that's the other side of it. That's been pretty special.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you tell it with, like, because you don't think about the talent referring talent, other talent to go on Cameo, because from the other end, it's just that, with, oh, I got my dad, Adam Pascal, to do a song. My dad's not Adam Pascal. I phrased that completely wrong. I got my dad, Adam Pascal, for his birthday. And because of that, a friend of mine sees that and is like, oh, I'm going to get so-and-so for my son. So it's interesting to see that it's the same deal with celebrities, that it just catches on.
Yeah, and we always say every cameo is a commercial for the next one, right? So when you receive a cameo, you share the cameo in a group chat on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Others see it, they see that talent. It's almost like taking the unskillable. You talk about, you've met a lot of celebrities and athletes and actors over the years, and when you meet someone and they're a great person, what do you tell? The first thing you're doing, you call all your friends up. Man, I just met Pete Alonso, and he is
Right.
unbelievable. Like, what a guy, right? And you're gonna tell everybody that. And now there's like proof. It's like I can put it on social, and my whole network sees it. And again, that's to the talent. The value prop is that they're getting paid to become more famous. Every time they make a cameo, that person that receives is a bigger fan of them than they ever were before.
Right. And also, it is just, again, I would think just especially during the pandemic too, there is that emotional way of connecting with the fans themselves. Of because I do notice. Listen, everyone approaches this differently. This celebrity, any kind of talent, it's a paycheck plus, or it's like really heartfelt and like they feel everything. And you could tell from cameo to cameo which one is just like, all right, I'm going to sing this. And then there are people, you mentioned Pete Alonso, and I'm just thinking like, this is a guy who feels everything, right? And, his messages just resonate. I can't afford him just yet, but, there are just, the guys that just, they get it and they know it. And then there's other people who are just like, I'm going to have fun with this. And you could just give them very little direction and they know exactly where to go. I wanted to talk to you about price points because I'm just curious how it works. Because obviously, the everyday Joe is not going to pay $1,000 for Richard Dreyfuss, but there are, like you said, there's so many to choose from that I do feel like there's different price points for everybody. Is that something that you work with the talent themselves?
So the average price point on Cameo is $70. So the average video is affordable. I always like to say it's like buying a nice bottle of wine for someone at their birthday, right? It's right. In that same type of bucket for how much that would cost. As far as the talent, they set their own price. I never wanted any talent to say, here is, this isn't worth my time. So if they set their own price, they can never say that. Right. At this point, we have a marketplace of so many different data points. And when a Pete Alonso joins, we can show him similar people and say, hey, here's a range of prices we think you could do, but just like, almost like a realtor would do, right? Like, here's what I think your house is worth. But just like when people are going on Zillow and they're looking at different houses in the neighborhood, some of them are certainly overpriced and some of them are certainly underpriced. And I always say that pricing is really a proxy for willingness. If everybody was free, they'd get booked too much that they wouldn't be able to do any of them. And then Cameo would essentially just be Instagram DM. On the flip side, if they are too expensive, they're never going to get booked. So that again shows like a willingness. And I'm a Chicago guy, and I think one of the best examples of this is Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs, who were, almost like Urlacher's the first ballot Hall of Famer, but Lance Briggs is like a 10-time Pro Bowler. Like, they were a dominant duo together. Yeah. And they wore 54 and 55, the jersey number respectively. Brian Urlacher is $540, while Lance Briggs is $55. It doesn't mean that Lance Briggs is 1/10 of as valuable as Brian Urlacher. It just means he's 10 times more willing to do the videos, right? So I like to think of price as a proxy for willingness.
Yeah, and going to what you said, there is always somebody that you can find. I mean, there is so many to choose from, because I just kind of, and I think this was another thing with the pandemic for me. I said that it kind of saved me a little bit. Browsing and not feeling any political anything. You have everybody on there. You want someone to bash somebody, you have someone for that or whatever. I just love that it's complete common ground and whatever. So, but I do want to. And
we try to be Switzerland, right? We try to have somebody for everybody. We are a nonpartisan platform. We believe that anyone in the world should be on Cameo, so long as you adhere to our rules on platform. No violence, no inciting violence, no hate speech, and no nudity. As long as you don't do that on our platform, like, we're fine. But we don't care what you're doing off of it. We care about the message of positivity that you're sending your people on Cameo.
Talk to me a little bit, and then I'll let you go about the charity angle of it, because we were talking about the price. I'm trying very hard for this not to be a complete puff piece, because I really do love you guys. So, but do talk to me about the charity stuff, because it is always a consistent line that I see, when I'm looking through celebrities. And I know you raised like what, 50 million or something crazy. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, number one, any talent that wants to do it for charity is always willing to and can do it for a charity of their choice. But during COVID, we've actually had a couple of points where we stepped up and donated our cut and got involved and found some causes that we thought were worthy. So during the Black Lives Matters protest, we got the talent together, and over a weekend we raised $250,000 for the NAACP. At the beginning of COVID, we did something similar for a few charities like the National Restaurant Workers Association. You talk about an industry hit hard, Actors Fund, No Kid Hungry. So again, we did a similar thing where we raised $750K there. So literally millions of dollars at this point have been raised for charity on Cameo. But we also don't feel like we should ever force it down anybody's throats, because a lot of people are out of work, just like a lot of other Americans. And it's awesome for them to have the optionality to do it, but we never want to force anyone to do it for charity.
Is there, last question, is there anyone who's kind of eluded you so far that you've been?
We believe there's 5 million people in the world that can be on Cameo. We have 40,000. So, I don't even think I'm in spring training yet, much less the top of the first inning.
Nice. Well, you're a Chicago guy. Can you cut it down at all or no?
Like cut it down of like Chicago people, that'd be great.
Yeah, like I'm just curious if
look,
on a personal, not from a company standpoint, personal.
Yeah, note. Look, I think just talking Chicago people.
Yeah, like who would you be looking at?
Oprah, Obama, Michael Jordan, Chance the Rapper, Kanye West. Maybe Kanye West running for president, fundraising on Cameo. That could be interesting, right? You go to any city. Where I'm a hockey guy. Like, let's get Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews on the platform. So from my side, the thing that's fun is like every day there's more stars getting made, and there's also people like Eddie Belfour, who was the Blackhawks goalie when I was a kid, and who inspired me to play goalie. Right, so everybody has different people that move them, and Eddie Vedder. How awesome would he be? Right, so at the end of the day, like I think it's just such a massive opportunity, and our story is just beginning.
Well, I'm thankful for you guys, and just keep up all you're doing, and thanks, man.
Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Great to meet you, and really look forward to seeing the piece and just continuing to get exciting people on that'll bring joy to people in your life.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.